WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. Angela Hill, John Snell, Jim Henderson, and meteorologist Dave Barnes. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News Nightwatch.
More rain dumped onto an already soggy ground has brought flooding to many areas of southeast Louisiana tonight. In some places, emergency shelters have been opened and schools have been closed down. Good evening, everyone. There are several pockets of flooding in Lafourche Parish tonight.
And that has forced authorities there to open 2 emergency shelters. Alan Berg is at one of them and joins us now with the live report. Alan, how's it looking?
Well, John, it's going to be a long night for these folks. I'm at Raceland Junior High School. As you said, it's one of 2 of the shelters that have been opened here. And the people here may be here not only tonight, but tomorrow night as well, because officials say it'll take quite some time for the floodwaters to subside, since they are actually the result of several days worth of bad weather. People in the small community of Alador made the best of a bad situation. Several blocks here were underwater.
The tides were so high from all the southeast winds we've been having with the amount of rain. We had nowhere for the water to go, you know. The grounds were saturated. It was running through the pump. They were pumping it, and it was just coming back through the fields, you know, and going right back into the subdivision.
This barn alone estimates it's filled 8,000 sandbags since yesterday morning, and there's no sense that the job is done.
We go to work at 6:30 in the morning. We came out here at 6:30 yesterday morning, and we still at it. Don't look like it's going to be an early night tonight. We're going to be out there late again tonight.
About 20 people took refuge at Raceland Middle School. These folks are next-door neighbors. They escaped with little more than a few bags of belongings.
Everybody just took whatever they could get, and there was just a couple of pieces of clothes that was there.
And nothing we can do. When we woke up, the water was there, and too late to take anything out of there.
Just before nightfall, the sun peeked out for a few minutes. Too late to provide anything except a glimmer of hope. And even that was tempered by reality as another truck of sand arrived for what now seems like an endless and thankless task.
Right now, we're just trying to hold on.
Now, Raceland officials have canceled school for tomorrow. This will be a busy day here, though, because Red Cross officials will begin processing flood claims. John, Angela?
Thank you, Alan. Everyone wants to know when all this is going to be over.
In fact, there has been some improvement, and Dave, maybe some considerable improvement, and Dave Barnes joins us with the latest on that. Dave?
Well, John, Alan mentioned a glimmer of hope. I think I see more than a glimmer of hope. Here are the showers and thunder showers. You'll notice all the yellow and red on these images here where the showers and thunderstorms are heavy. Now, this was not now. This was earlier today around noon, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Look at how it diminished. A few out in the Gulf, and we thought some of those would come ashore and maybe increase. But now look at what's happened. The current radar shows that most of those showers and thunderstorms are over. Now, they can redevelop. That's a possibility, but I think it's a little less than 50-50. So keep your fingers crossed. The worst may be over. Angela?
Hallelujah. Well, there are several school closings and emergency shelters to report tonight. In Terrebonne Parish, the Recreation Center in Donner and the Lions Club and Fire Station in Bayou Cane are being used as shelters. In Lafourche Parish, the Raceland Junior High, the VFW Hall in Thibodaux, and the Chappé Parish Hall are shelters. In Assumption Parish, the middle school gym in Pierre Park is open, and in Slidell, the Methodist Church on Erlinger Street is a shelter. For school closings, all public and parochial schools in Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes will be closed tomorrow, and in Assumption Parish, all public schools will be closed.
And if you think you may have missed something on that list that you're interested in, we will run through it again for you before we leave you here tonight. In other news, the drug trial of a former New Orleans police officer could wrap up tomorrow. Ex-Blue Beret Ralph Jones is charged with conspiracy to distribute cocaine. He's accused of taking money to protect a drug dealer's cocaine operation. Trial got underway in federal court only today. Jones's former partner expected to take the stand in the morning. 2 plans to ban nearly all abortions in Louisiana are a step closer tonight to becoming law. The House Criminal Justice Committee approved a pair of anti-abortion bills Thursday. One would only allow abortions when the mother's life is in danger. The second would include exceptions for rape and incest. Both bills call for stiff jail terms for doctors.
Our intentions are still the same. Our intentions are to do all in our power to save the maximum of lives in this particular state and in this nation.
To uphold any of these bills as constitutional, the Supreme Court would have to rule that pregnant women have no rights. No right to privacy, no right to protect their lives, no rights to protect their health.
The full House of Representatives will probably debate the anti-abortion bills next week.
Still to come on Nightwatch, does the history of New Orleans make a riverboat gambling unnatural?
Or is the risk too high? We conclude our series, The Big Deal.
You're watching Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News Nightwatch.
Zoo. Adventure close at hand.
The human shoe. It poses no threat. The aerosol spray, roaches can just hide inside walls. The household fogger, roaches can simply avoid the area. The combat roach control system. After roaches eat the poison, they carry it inside the walls, where more roaches eat it and die. With combat, there is no hope. There is no escape.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you can wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
Why do ice cream lovers love K&B ice cream?
K&B has great flavors.
We like the 2 for special, 2 half gallons, 1 low price.
I like K&B Light. Tastes great and half the calories.
K&B tastes better than most national brands.
They make it themselves, so K&B costs less.
I've been eating KB ice cream since before you were born.
K&B ice cream. Just $1.49 a half gallon at your convenient K&B drugstore. When it comes to making ice cream, we're personally yours. Zoo. Adventure close at hand.
Back in the 1800s, when dozens of steamboats called on New Orleans in a single day, gambling on riverboats was a way of life.
Now, to hear supporters tell it, riverboat gambling would represent a return to the city's roots. But as they make their case with state lawmakers, they must also contend with the dark side of gambling's history. We focus on the debate in the final installment of our series, The Big Deal. "40 years ago, Doc Hawley landed what he thought would be a temporary job on a riverboat. Instead, the captain of the Natchez has spent his life working on the Mississippi.
It's just the adventure on the river, what's around the next bend, and it's a great life.
It is the romance of the river, a sense of adventure that riverboat gambling supporters insist will make their plans a perfect fit in New Orleans.
There's such a rich and long tradition with riverboats and gambling.
It's an absolute natural. It'll take right off. It fits in with our history, fits in with the present flow of tourism. It's going to be a real winner here in New Orleans.
Riverboat gambling has already been legalized in Iowa, Illinois, and Mississippi. Other states are studying the issue, and supporters in Louisiana argue unless the state gets in on the games, it runs the risk of losing out on tourism dollars. Sensing an opportunity, riverboat owners, boat builders, and other supporters have joined forces. The Louisiana Rivers Development Council hopes to sell lawmakers on gaming. Under their plan, the Natchez and any of the other riverboats now afloat would never be gambling boats. The bills would require completely new boats built in Louisiana shipyards. The council claims each boat would bring about 500 permanent jobs.
This thing is economic development for the entire state, and not just for a few folks here in New Orleans.
In Iowa, supporters say 3 riverboats have already created close to 2,000 jobs.
This is the beginning of the Mississippi Strip, the birth of the Mississippi Strip right now. And the more boats that we can get on this Mississippi Strip, the more of a destination attraction this will become.
But members of a group that opposed gambling in Iowa fear that state has unleashed a monster. Over time, they argue, it will leave them coping with compulsive gamblers, mobsters, prostitutes, and pressure for more gambling.
We fear what's coming. We fear, I certainly do fear land-based casinos. The girls will come as sure as we're sitting here with the land-based casinos. And that's the next step.
We've had gambling here before. It didn't work then. Why is it going to work now? See, this is just history consistently repeating itself.
In Iowa's corn-fed economy, critics say gambling amounts to empty calories, short-term benefits, long-term trouble.
It's not that we're against economic development. We are all for economic development in our community, but we are very much concerned about what this is going to bring to the citizens of our community.
The effects of gambling, positive or negative, would likely be greater in the Quad Cities of Iowa and Illinois, an area less than one-third the size of Metro New Orleans. But even some gambling supporters concede there is a downside. The new riverboat casinos could siphon business from their smaller cousins, the excursion boats now in operation. Nevertheless, riverboat companies have chosen to go full speed ahead in their drive for floating casinos, and they believe the odds of passage have never been greater. As for Captain Hawley of the Natchez,
if it is for the good of this city and for the good of the river, I'm all for it. River boats and gambling be like ham and eggs. You know, it's a natural.
even some gambling opponents concede that this does appear to be the year for riverboat gambling. As for the land-based casinos, probably not, at least as long as Governor Romer threatens a veto.
Why do you think that some lawmakers say okay to on the riverboat but not on the land?
Well, 105 lawmakers, 105 different reasons for anything, but the theory is that riverboat or cruise ship gambling is limited. You're only limited to a certain amount of time. When you leave the boat, you leave the casino, and therefore you spend your money around the community. That's the theory anyway. Should make for a lively debate next week in both the Senate and House committees.
Okay, thank you, John. Well, coming up, NBA playoffs wrap up tonight.
And as minicamp comes to a close, Coach Mora assesses the shape of the Saints. Jim has sports.
I not only have to find a Mother's Day gift for my mom, but I have to help my kids find something for my wife. Then I have to find something from me to my wife. Now, normally, I would get killed if I gave either one of them a gift from a grocery store. But they love stuff from the real Superstore. They have department store things there at Superstore prices. Brand name cosmetics like Giorgio Red and Beautiful. Even women's clothes and things. And I'm going to let the kids pick out their own flower arrangements. It's a lot cheaper than any florist. It worked for me last year.
What you gonna get for Mother's Day to show your mother how you really feel?
Mother's Day is coming, and Walmart has some great prices on gifts for Mom.
Where you gonna go for Mother's Day? Where you really gonna get a deal?
Like this Novak Team Dinnerware 16 pieces for just $19.97, or a Toastmaster Snackster for $29.96.
Great prices on great gifts for Mom.
This week, you can just call us Mom Mart.
Come to Walmart, save for Mother's Day.
Pet owners, stay tuned for a helpful pet care tip from Scratch X.
Why can't they make a stronger flea collar?
Someone has. Scratch X. Look, compared to Hearts and Sergeants, Scratch X has the power to kill twice as many fleas. Compare. All these collars kill fleas, but Scratch X has the power to kill twice as many fleas, since it's government approved to work twice as long.
Yet Scratch X is safe for 3-month-old pets.
Remember, compared to Hearts and Sergeant's 5-month collars, the Scratch X 11-month collar has the power to kill twice as many fleas.
Here's a pet tip on flea control. Fleas love to live in nice, warm places. That includes carpets and upholstery. The next time you put a flea collar on your pet, take the excess and drop it in your vacuum. Then vacuum rugs and furniture thoroughly. If your pet spends time in your bed, launder the bedding and add a little flea and tick shampoo. And spray your carpets with flea spray every 3 months to keep fleas under control. This has been a tip from the Scratch X Pet Skin Care Center.
Coming up Friday on the Eyewitness Morning News, the Banana Slug String Band and Environmental Educators Group. And from the Peppermill Restaurant, shrimp fettuccine. Join us.
President Bush is being treated with radioactive iodine to bring his overactive thyroid under control. Bush was diagnosed today with Graves' disease, a common condition also affecting the First Lady. Doctors say it may be a few weeks before Bush's health is fully restored.
A quick look now at some other stories in the news tonight. The State Senate Education Committee voted to scrub Governor Romer's teacher evaluation program for 1 year. Still some effort to forge a compromise. The White House says Chief of Staff John Sununu will not be allowed to use military planes anymore unless there is a demonstrated need. William Kennedy Smith is expected to turn himself in to authorities in Palm Beach, Florida next week, now that he's been formally charged with rape. Relief supplies were handed out in typhoon-ravaged Bangladesh. A third tornado in as many days killed 13 people there today. And the General Accounting Office says the Census Bureau's highly touted $3 million special homeless count last year is so flawed it will never be of any use in designing homeless programs. The GAO says the Census Bureau should not have tried to count the homeless in one night.
Exciting night in basketball?
Pretty much so. One game in progress. Portland so very tough at home. Out west, the Jazz seeks a victory in Portland to split their two conference semifinal games. Checking out the action in the first half, an errant Karl Malone pass results eventually in a Clyde Drexler jam as the Trailblazers, who won the first game, took an early lead. Then a combination the Blazers will see a lot of in this series. John Stockton to Malone produces a Jazz layup, but right now, through the first half of action, it's the Trailblazers holding an 11-point lead, 52-41, and they lead that series 1-0. In the Eastern Conference semis, Boston drew even with the Pistons in winning in the Garden 109-103. While Isaiah Thomas rested an injured ankle, Larry Bird exercised an aching back, and on it he helped carry the Celtics to the win, which gave them a split on their home court. Bird scored 16 points, pulled 8 boards, but more importantly, he lifted the Celtics out of their psychological doldrums.
We don't know how long they can live off being pumped up by Bird's return. We just got to keep playing, and hopefully they come down off that emotion of Bird being in the lineup. Eventually you got to play basketball to win. So we're just waiting for that.
The Saints minicamp that concluded today gave Jim Moore a chance to forecast how his 8-8 team of a year ago might benefit from the arrival of the new and the return to form of the old. When Dalton Hilliard hurt his knee last season, the Saints offense lost a vital cog. So Moore hoped he saw more of the Dalton Hilliard '89 vintage in this week's work.
He just went out and did everything we asked him to do, and I didn't see any problems at all. So I feel very good about his ability to come back 100% from his injury from last year.
Last season, it looked like a greased pig's skin that the Saints secondary was trying to corral. Somehow the old players from last season must get better hands, or he must find new players with stickier fingers.
We've got to get a better play out of our secondary. Last year we were worst in the league in interceptions. I think we were the worst or second worst in interceptions. And this isn't always all the secondaries. Linebackers make interceptions, defensive linemen make interceptions, but it's primarily defensive backs and linebackers. And we had our hands on balls last year that would have won football games for us, won a game for us, and it was dropped.
No lead is a safe one in Fenway Park as the Rangers learned anew tonight. Julio Franco's home run in the third ran the Ranger lead at the time to 4-0 over the Red Sox, and he got all of that one, but the Sox fought back to go ahead in the seventh. They led 5-4 when Mike Greenwell's bases-loaded double chases home a couple more to make it 7-4 Boston. They go on to win it 8-4. In Toronto, the Blue Jays blanked the White Sox 2-0, and the Tigers shut out the Twins 3-zip. Just a single game in the National League saw Ricky Jordan continue his hot hitting for the Phillies. Jordan pulled 2 more homers, giving him 3 and 8 RBIs in 2 days as the Phillies won for the 5th time in 7 games against the Padres. That final score in San Diego, the Phillies 9 and the Padres 6. And it also appears that Ivan Lendl is going to have to undergo an operation on his hand. Nothing serious, but he's had to withdraw from the Italian Open next week.
Right, we need to make a quick little clarification here. We said all public schools in Lafourche were closed. I understand it's all public schools north of Lafourche High School and all parochial schools. So again, all public schools in Lafourche that are north of Lafourche High School, and then all the parochial schools. So if you're south of Lafourche High School, go to school tomorrow.
Go to school. It is a school day. It is also sort of our final look at Goodwill Industries, and our congratulations to that great organization. You saw this outfit, a beautiful 2-piece dress, $3.15 at Goodwill. But we also want to remind you that they have spectacular children's clothes. Look at this. If you have a child, $1.25 for these precious outfits. Even for the little boys, we have little pants and things. $1.25. Men's clothes, Great, great organization. One more cute little dress. Also want to remind you that Mother's Day is this Sunday, and a great gift is an orchid. And lucky for us that the New Orleans Orchid Society is having its annual show and sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Plaza Shopping Center. That's on Reed Boulevard. And at the Jefferson Orchid Society is going to have theirs at Uptown Square. And I'm going to tell you now, but I'm going to tell you again on Monday, Jail and Bail. It's for the American Cancer Society. This is where you get somebody arrested that may have to get themselves out. It's fantastic, and all the money will go to the American Cancer Society. It's Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm going to tell you about it more on Monday.
You bring any more props in here, we'll have to move the sports guy off the desk.
Stuck. David's next.
he says, believe it or not, the weekend won't be half bad.
Sometimes I dream I'm in Italy, driving this incredible sports car. And my boss is there. He says,
"We need a ride to the shareholders meeting."
Now, here's where it gets weird. The sports car has 4 doors. I mean, there's no such thing as a 4-door sports car. It's just a dream, right?
Schwegman's got a hot deal to really perk you up. Community New Orleans Blend Coffee and Chicory is only 99 cents. That's 99 cents. Buy Dawn, Ivory, or Joy Liquid Dishwashing Detergent, $2.39. Here's a great deal on Dial Soap and Antiperspirants, $1.19 each. And get a jumbo roll of brawny paper towels for a low 59 cents.
Everything checks out better. Check out Schwegman. Check out Schwegman now.
Come to Hurwitz Minton Eunice, the South's finest furniture. There's no money down, no payment for 90 days, and no interest for 1 year.
Nothing down, no payment for 90 days, and no interest for 1 year. Plus, save 20 to 50% on a fabulous selection of furniture.
You get free parking, and we're even open on Sundays.
So get going for nothing down and no interest for 1 year and 20 to 50% off.
Come to Hurwitz Minton Eunice, the affordable dream.
At Kemp's, we've been working hard to make our new frozen yogurt 97% fat-free. Kemp's low-fat frozen yogurt in a variety of tempting flavors, so smooth and refreshing, you won't believe it's less than 90 calories a serving.
Remember your mother with a gift certificate from Lulu Buras, the perfect Mother's Day present. Lulu Buras, the original international beauty experience, uptown, downtown, and Metairie.
Residents in a reserve subdivision tonight have sandbagged their front doors in an effort to keep water out of their homes. However, Mike Longman reports it has been a fruitless effort for some.
Well, when it's election time, everybody want to come down here and be our buddy. Okay, when we need them, where are they? Who is our council?
Residents of Homewood are fed up. A couple of years ago, the parish installed one pump here, but it's obviously not working.
Water's higher than the one. The water's higher today than what it was when the storm 1 hit. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the councilman do this time. They was here a while ago talking, and they're going to do this and do that. We got to see it happen.
Most here feel like they will never get back the money they've invested in their homes. They have been flooded out too many times. People are now talking about suing the parish.
I knew this was a flood area, and they willfully lying and deceiving people into this type of things. Who do we see? What's going to be done?
They warned you at all when you bought this house that there was...
They said don't flood back here.
Our real estate agent told us it floods on the other side of the track. It don't flood on this side of the track. That's what the real estate agent told us.
Hasn't worked that way.
No, it hasn't worked that way at all. So, you know, we're really frustrated at this point.
For now, residents of Homewood are simply trying to limit damage. Those who have been lucky enough to get to their homes. Meantime, the parish fire department is working overtime, trying to pump all of the floodwater out of this swamp subdivision. Reporting from Reserve, Mike Longman, Eyewitness News, Nightwatch.
Well, that is an amazing picture. They've created an arc with cars driving under it. Those people need some relief.
They need some relief, John, and I may have some good news, but you'll have to keep your fingers crossed. It's in the upper 60s outside under mostly cloudy skies, 67 at the airport, 68 at Audubon Zoo, 66 in Slidell. The humidity 97%, winds northeast at 3 miles per hour, the pressure 29, 98, and rising. 2-day rainfall totals, what a surprise. Nearly a foot in Morgan City and over a foot in Thibodaux. The rest of the area, 3 to 6 inches. No wonder they have rain in those areas to the southwest of the city, down near the coastal sections. And look at this rain. This was at noon today. Look at all the red and the oranges and also the greens, and you can see a large area of rain, several areas as a matter of fact, but then about 6 o'clock tonight, it diminished a little bit to just green, which is just moderate rain, some scattered heavy areas to the southwest, and now look at this. Not much going on at all. Should we believe this and take showers out of the forecast? Well, we could, but I'm going to play it safe. Let's take a look at the upper air situation and watch the satellite. Here's that loop, and here is the low-pressure center moving on toward the northeast now, and look at the dry air coming around the back. Yes, I think there's a pretty good chance that we'll get away without any significant showers tonight, but you know what? Late at night, down here in this tropical moisture, sometimes we get fooled, and the showers develop in the ocean and move ashore anyway. So we're going to keep at least a chance for showers in the forecast. But right now I'm optimistic, and boy, we don't need them. 52 inches of rain, that's how much we've had this year. The normal this far into the year is 21. We're 31 inches ahead of that. We could use some drying out. We could use some drying out for several months the way things look right now. On the North Shore, on the Tikva, the Tangipahoa, the Chafunka, and the Bogfalia, minor flooding expected there. The Pearl River still expected to crest 22 feet tomorrow at Bogalusa and 18.5 feet at Pearl River on Sunday. The forecast, just to be on the safe side, the Weather Service is keeping the flash flood watch up, at least for the time being, for the chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'd say the chance, however, is now a little less than 50-50, low 64 to 68 degrees. And when the sun comes up tomorrow, it may stir things up just enough to give you a few widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, so we'll keep a chance in tomorrow, too. But I do believe we'll see some sunshine, and those highs warming up into the low to mid-80s. The extended forecast, summer weather is back. It's going to be warm and humid with a few widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Some days we may not have any at all. The marine forecast, winds southeast 10 to 18 knots. Look out for some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, but not very many the way things are shaping up now. That's the good news. The range on the tides, 0.6 of a foot.
Okay, right. Keep our fingers crossed.
Got 'em.
Up next, Frank Davis in the Fish and Game Report.
But first, we'd like to run down the list of school closings and shelters around the area due to the flooding.
Part of the Oldsmobile Edge, if your car is ever in for warranty service, you'll never be left without guaranteed transportation. We'll either drive you ourselves, get someone else to drive you, or get you another car so you can do it yourself. Of course, if you don't have our idea of guaranteed transportation, you may get stuck with theirs.
This is the new generation of Olds.
Ask us about the Oldsmobile Edge, the most comprehensive owner security program in the industry.
Just a reminder, when you can't wait that long, come to Eckerd. If you don't have time to make Mom a gift anymore, Eckerd can help with $5 off designer fragrances like Giorgio and Opium, Whitman samplers for $4.29, and Quintel analog watches just $19.95. Eckerd, because America can't wait.
One of the funniest shows of the season, One Monkey Don't Stop No Show, starring back-to-life Kim Fields. Also starring Chip Fields and comedian Louis Diggs. They're sometimes saying,
Sure wish I had enough chicken to give y'all some. But I know y'all gonna get some later on anyway.
but even the Reverend's playing. One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. Don't miss it. Coming May 17th, 18th, and 19th in the Sanger Performing Arts Center.
Stalled budget talks are the subject in Washington today. Negotiators are coping with a fiscal budget deficit estimated at $168 billion. Rain, at times heavy, is expected to last through the weekend. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial closed down for the 4th day in a...
You know what's really important. Knowing from Estee Lauder. Now at Maison Blanche.
Cockahos, sparkle beetles, and cutie pies. They are not insects, and no, they're not food.
They're the names of some of the baits Frank Davis and friends use when they go fishing. Since the weather was so bad today, Frank visited the plant where all the different baits are made for the Fish and Game Report.
It's Thursday. So what do we do on Thursday? We go fishing on Thursday. We fish on Thursday, come hell or high water. What do we do if it really starts to pour? It's starting to rain again. What do we do now? Clean the tackle box. We could do that. Oh, I got a great tackle box I want you to see. Okay. Let's go to Baton Rouge. Come here. I'm going to show you the biggest tackle box biggest tackle box in the whole world. You know all that fishing gear you got in your tackle box? Well, it's a safe bet that most of it was made at one of the biggest fishing tackle manufacturers in the South, H&H Lure Company, a father and son operation in Baton Rouge.
Most lure companies make lures. We make terminal tackle. We make all kind of soft plastic, hard plastic lures, rubber skirts, spinners. So we make a lot more than just the common lure manufacturer does.
Now, y'all, I thought I knew my tackle, but I had no idea that so much time and technology went into the making of little devices that would help me catch a fish. Like how jig heads are formed when molten lead is poured into special molds. How they're hand-dipped in special acrylic paint to give them color. How specially trained women, because men don't have the patience, put eyes on lures and crimp swivels and take tiny screws and attach hooks to plastic fish. How skirts for spinnerbaits are formed from living rubber that's cut, washed, dried, and rolled. Tell you what, next time one of your fishing trips gets rained out, head up to Baton Rouge and get a behind-the-scenes look at H&H for yourself. Because I've only shown you 1/10 of the technology my crew and I saw today. When are we going to say we have enough lures?
I don't think that day will ever come. I really don't. Because every generation something changes. So I really don't think the lure business will ever say, hey, we have enough and that's it.
Man, I can't believe that. I got a healthy respect for my fishing tackle now.
A lot of hours to make that look great.
Women back in there fixing those things.
I'm going to put this in the car.
All right. Now you know what goes into your fishing tackle. Treasure everything you got in the box. With the Fish and Game Report, I'm Frank Davis for Channel 4, Eyewitness News. Phil, let's find a little pond on the way.
You know, they sell their tackle from Texas all the way to North Carolina, I think it is.
That is fantastic.
Homegrown industry. We know our tackle here.
That's right.
That's the news. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day tomorrow, and good night.
Due to the scheduling of fall, summer will be a short 94 days. So while there's time, take the long way home. Run through a sprinkler. Relax with a pitcher of Country Time lemonade flavored drink mix with a taste of good old-fashioned lemonade. For these days are best enjoyed slowly, one sip at a time.
Wake up, Benadryl users. There's chlortrimeton. Our allergy relief ingredient is just as effective, but less sedating than yours. Wake up, Benadryl users. Your product's main ingredient is used in sleeping aids like Nitol, not chlortrimeton. Pharmacists recommend us most for allergy relief, but Benadryl's recommended as a sleeping aid. So wake up, Benadryl users. Try chlortrimeton, the allergy relief you want, less of the drowsiness you don't.
Discover true serenity in a park-like setting. Call, write, or visit beautiful Garden of Memories, Metairie.
I have an important message for you. Bone Ford is having an emergency warehouse sale now through Saturday only. Our used car manager overbought, and we are overstocked. We have so much inventory we had to store it in our warehouse. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to substantially save during our used car warehouse sale at Bone Ford. Never before in Bone Ford's history have we reduced prices so drastically. We have special financing. We must get rid of every used car in the warehouse this weekend. No dealers, please. Buy with confidence at Bone Ford's warehouse sale, and you should act now.
Watch the Jeopardy College Tournament all this week on Channel 4.
And now, with today's Channel 4 editorial, here is Phil Johnson.
Good evening. Common sense carried the day in Washington yesterday. The House voted to approve the Brady Bill, the legislation that would mandate a 7-day waiting period for handgun purchases in America. It was a dramatic vote. James Brady, who gave his name to the bill, was sitting in the House gallery as the vote was taken. He said he was delighted with the results. Brady was President Reagan's press secretary, who suffered brain damage when he was wounded during the assassination attempt on Mr. Reagan early in his first term. The bill still has a long way to go. It must now pass the Senate and then avoid a presidential veto. Advocates were happy over the outcome because opposing the bill was the National Rifle Association, one of the most powerful lobbies in Washington. But recent NRA stands opposing bans on machine guns and semi-automatic assault rifles have soured many people on the group. The NRA also opposed a ban on Teflon-coated bullets, which police chiefs across the country condemned as most dangerous, since they could pierce most police bulletproof protection. The Brady Bill is a good bill, a common sense bill. It takes away none of our rights. What it does do is give the police 7 days to determine if a prospective gun buyer has a criminal record. Now that makes sense. We would hope the Senate will agree, and the President. The Brady Bill is a bill whose time has come. Good evening.
This has been a statement of opinion by the management of WWL-TV. If you disagree, we invite your reply.